Hi Marcus, thanks for reaching out. I'll show you how you can create a bass line. So make sure you're in the library here. I'm going to go to presets and add a preset. Let's call this, we'll just do a rhythm here and I'll call it bass line. So we have a rhythm here. So then you would go tap on the rhythm and edit the rhythm and put in whatever rhythm you want. So let's do a Billie Jean bass line, which is just 8 notes. So one of the things that sort of separates PolyNome from other sequences is the fact that it separates the rhythm and the notes that get assigned to that rhythm. So that means that you want to put in the rhythm first for whatever the bass line is and then add the melody after, or vice versa. But you need some rhythmic element entered here in order to add sounds. So you tap below to add sounds, and then we'll go tap on where it says sound buttons and choose keyboard. And here you can switch between keyboard sounds and bass sounds. This is all you've got because they're samples, they're not instruments, they're just kind of samples within the app. So you can choose keyboard or bass. If you turn audition on, which might be the default, then when you tap on a note, it doesn't add it up here, it just lets you hear it. So if you were going to play Billie Jean and you wanted to find the note and say, so maybe we think it starts on E. So then to add that note, you can either long press, and you see what happens up here is that it adds it, and it's going to play that E note over this entire rhythm because it's looping the one sound that you've selected over this rhythm. So if you wanted a 2-note bass line, you would choose another note. So let's go and find the next note in Billie Jean. So we start here. So this is the next one. Okay, long press. And then the next one. This one. Okay, so I can either long press or I can hit the add button right here. And then find the next one. E. So this is the next one. So I'm just feeling around to try and find the notes in my head. You can also swipe along here to hear them. Oops. If you swipe and you don't hear it, long press and you can turn swipe sound on. Now you can hear. So we need da, and then B. So we can hear that. Oops. Okay, so I hit done, and now we've got a bass line. And then you can do things, you can transpose this, so you can tap on the menu and go to more. There's some transpose options here where you can choose to shift up by semitones or octaves, and you can swap the bass sounds for key sounds, so you can have it played on a keyboard and shift it up an octave. Like so. And another couple of tips when you're editing the rhythm here, when you've got the keyboard up, there is this button on the side where you can highlight different scales. So we could highlight C major. So that's the notes in C major. We could highlight E major or any of these different scales. And that's just showing you the notes that are in that scale that might be helpful when entering things. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. Let me know if you have any other questions.